Joining us now to break it down, Texas Representative Kevin Brady. Kevin's the chairman of the Congressional Joint Economic Committee and a member of the House Committee on Ways and Means. KB, it is so good to have you back here on America's Forum this morning.
JD, thanks for having me. I love being on the show. Miss you on the Ways and Means Committee myself.
Well, it was a great honor to serve with you, and of course we both represented border states, you in Texas, as was I in Arizona, and of course Senator McCain, the senior senator from that border state. What is your take on the president continuing to talk about going it alone with executive action on immigration?
You know, it is a huge mistake, and even bigger because it simply ignores the checks and balances of the Constitution that have worked so well for more than 200 years. The fact of the matter, securing the borders, visas, all these issues are the constitutional authority of Congress. And so the president, if he's serious about actually securing the border and finding a solution for our immigration challenge, needs to sit down with Republicans and Democrats, not just in the Senate, to find that solution. So I think it's a huge mistake. It's wrong and unconstitutional. And clearly, the House has already acted. We've passed two bills over the Senate already. They're sitting there. One of them addresses the border security problem with the unaccompanied children that the president's ignored. And the second stops the president from taking further action to provide amnesty in any form for those who are here undocumented. So I'm hopeful we have some champions in the Senate who will pick that legislation up and move it.
You mentioned the Senate. Wyoming Senator John Barrasso utilized a rather graphic analogy to make his point on immigration vis-a-vis the president. Let's take a listen.
The American people want us to work together to find solutions. So I think it'd be like the president pulling the pin out of the hand grenade and throwing it in as we're trying to actually work together. I'm hoping that cooler heads at the White House can prevail.
Does Senator Barrasso have it right with that analogy, like pulling the pin out of a hand grenade?
Well, effectively, yes. This ends any discussion of real immigration reform for the rest of the president's term. This is a poison pill that just finishes it. The truth is, the president wanted seriously to sit down and work on more high-tech visas for our companies to be able to compete and for low-skilled guest worker programs tied to border security. I think there's some strong Republican support for doing that. But this is all politics. You know, he's delayed this for 5 or 6 years, only forced to do it when he thought it was important for re-election of Democrats. And now he's in a bind. But the truth is, go back to the Constitution. The way forward is to work with us.
Kevin, obviously you are charged with keeping your eyes on the economy as the chairman of the Joint Economic Committee, comprised of members of both the House and the Senate there on Capitol Hill. I heard you talk about high-skilled tech workers and low-skilled workers, and you thought Congress should come to an accommodation. When we take a look at the unemployment figures, I think back to the days of George W. Bush when that argument was plausible based on virtually full employment. But with things still pretty tough, do you really believe there is a market and an appetite for both low-skill and high-skill workers in some sort of guest worker program?
Well, I do. My frustration is that we've still got 3 million jobs unfilled in America today, which there's just a big mismatch between the skills people have and the jobs that are available. My frustration, too, is we've got millions of people who've given up looking for work. This is the most disappointing economic recovery in half a century. And it's not just people retiring early because they can't find a job. These are prime age workers, 25 to 50-some years old, who ought to be, full steam in the workforce. And my belief is that, you have to shut the back door of illegal immigration so you can keep open the front door of legal immigration. That we should be training up American workers for every job that's available out there. But I guarantee you, JD, there will be some, both on the high skill and definitely in those very unskilled workers that aren't going to be filled. I'm open to addressing those issues, but I want to start first with securing the border.
Fair enough,
so
my friend. Listen, we're going to bring you back on the other side, talk more about today's economy and the job numbers. There's more with Kevin Brady just ahead.